So now that we've talked about the values that volunteers hold dear and why that's important, we're going to talk about a couple leader tools that are really great to get good at in the volunteer environment. And that is the power of a narrative, being able to tell a story. As it turns out, the power of imagery and stories is a lot more potent than the ability to move someone through statistics and figures. If you're able to weave a story and to communicate a feeling or some sort of retelling of an event, you've got to do that through stories and through stories first. Supplementing that with statistics and figures is certainly nice, but people are going to be moved and you're going to have more influence if you are able to put together a story supplemented by statistics and figures, as opposed to just coming across and saying, this percentage of people are unhappy. That doesn't move me, right? So stories align and connect. The emotional response versus the intellectual response is kind of an interesting one. There's the emotional response due to the story versus the intellectual response due to statistics and figures. So that just reinforces that fact that stories and emotion and evoking that is really important. Some of the key factors in telling a good story. The story's got to ring true to the teller. The story has to ring true to the audience, and the story has to be true to the moment. So no blueprint to that, but just understand what the story means to you as the teller, what the story means to the audience, and how that is how that's germane to the moment that you're in. And finally, the story has to be true to the mission. Obviously, in a group like Team Red, White, and Blue, our mission has to do a lot with relationships. So telling stories that have to do with why you value relationships, or some relationships that you've observed and what that's meant to you, certainly would be powerful in motivating your volunteers.